Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. It is Wealth Wednesday. I'm excited to be here. As of right now, we've got 52 participants on the line. Make sure that you invite your team to these calls. It's a great way to start your morning with some really powerful trainings from people who are killing it in this Renatus business. Speaking of people who are killing it, this is Daine Clark. Daine Clark, before Renatus, had two jobs. He was working for Apple, and he was actually working in the back, and he was a little shy at the time, not so much a people person. And he was also a roofer. He fell into roofing because that's something that his dad did. And as you can see, with fair skin and red hair, sun was not his cup of tea, being in the sun all day. He was barely making ends meet and started looking for other income opportunities. After finding Renatus, Daine plugged into the systems, he listened to his mentor, and he ended up applying Velocity Banking. He used that to pay down debt, and then he used that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex. He lived in one side of the duplex and rented out the other side. Fast forward to today, he's raised over $6 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions, and his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has now grown his team. He is a PIT team member, meaning he's a President's Advisory Council member in training. He is recognized by our CEO, Bob Snyder, as a key leader, and I'm very much looking forward to what he has to share with us today. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Thank you. How are you?
Doing great. Sorry, I started talking and realized I was on mute still, so I had to jump off really fast. Oh man, how is everybody doing this morning? I am so excited to share with you guys what I have planned for today. Also a quick update. Keely, you mentioned that I've raised $6 million. I actually just broke the $8 million mark last week, actually. And I've already put that, this new money that I raised, I already put that to work in real estate deals. So pretty exciting, I've got some big goals in putting more money to work. So I'll keep giving you guys some play-by-plays as I'm reaching new goals as well as setting new goals. In fact, that's what little sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about today. But you guys all know that I love to hear how you guys have been doing for the last week. And so let's jump on here, chime into the chat, or come off of mute. And I want to hear how you guys have been doing for the last week and people that you're bringing, how many. If you've got just a really brief 12-second story, then let's hear it. So I'll post mine. I had 4. Actually went out of town for a big conference and then did a big service day all day yesterday. So I was able to get 4 in there. Let's see. Keely had 1 follow-up meeting. Congratulations. Corey had 4 and 1 order entered on Saturday. Congratulations. In fact, you know what? I love Corey. I love that you said 1 order, because at the end of the day, it's the signatures that you're getting to. So I love that. In fact, I might actually change that, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, story for another day. Cecilia had 4. Congratulations. Great job. Alice and Marshall had 1. Amy had 15 last night. Oh my gosh. With 2 one-on-ones. Congratulations. Let's see. All right. If you guys are on just the phones, and I get that some people are at work, so they can't really come off, but, oh, go ahead. I've got somebody off of mute here. Sherry.
Hey, Daine, it's Sherry. I'm driving, so it's easier for me to come off mute than to try to type.
No worries.
But I had 3 guests like 15-minute presentation. And I did a velocity banking 15-minute presentation with someone.
Ooh.
About paying off her college loan debt.
Nice.
Yeah, and I usually don't do that, but you know, she was really happy that it would take 2 years instead of 10 years to pay off her student loan debt.
You're feeling empowered. Knowledge is empowering you to share it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so last night I saw her. She's coming to a longer presentation tonight, but last night I saw her, and she was like so excited. So I was really happy.
It happens. Yeah. That's exactly what happens. You share. I call it, you know, for anybody that has heard me that's listening in on this, I call it blowing your nose in public. KNOWS, blowing your nose, or what you know, in public. And people will start tilting their heads and saying, how do you know that, right? How do you know that? I get people say that all the time, especially people I'm raising money and putting money to work. People are like, Daine, how do you know this? You're like 19 years old. I get that a lot still. It's really funny. But in fact, somebody was teasing me yesterday, and I had to shape them up and say, you know what? I just turned 30. Thank you very much. But anyway, anybody else wants to come off of mute? And if not, we are going to get started on what I've got to share today. Oh, sorry. Tamara Lewis wants some positive energy from the success gods and everybody on the call. If everybody will give Tamara Lewis some energy and excitement, because she is going to have something come her way this week just because she reported. So great job, Tamara. And Warboy had 5. Great job. Jeremy had 2. Great job. Great job. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And I've got some doozies to drop today. All right. Here we go. Bump over here. Da, da, da.
We love you, Daine.
Okay.
You're the man, brother.
What's up, brother? Likewise. Okay. So when setting goals, right? And I am going to talk about this 4-letter word, because most people, in fact, you know what? I took a bunch of notes this weekend, and so I had to change all of my pencils to a smaller, so I'm going to change them all back really fast, because this is going to annoy the heck out of me if I don't. So most people, when they hear the word goal, they've got this association to it. Most people have set a goal at some time in their life, and they hit some kind of a wall. I mean, this happens to everybody, right? So here's our past experiences. Here's where we've been. Here's how much money we've had in the bank. You know, most of the time. Here's how much money we've made. You know, the most money we've made in a year. Here's the nicest car that we've owned so far in our lives. Here's like the most vacation, you know, that we've had in our lives. And so here we are in normal life, okay? Whatever this is normal life for us.
Hey, Daine, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, did it not work?
I'm not seeing it. I might have a bad connection.
Here, let me. Can somebody else chime in and confirm if the screen is not? Oh, looks like we do have a couple of people. Okay, so let me try this again. And I think I broke something. Here, let me try it one more time. I gotta hold it down. Aha! I need to click Zoom and then start broadcast. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and share. Okay, there we are. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so normal life. So here we are, normal life. Like I said, all the things that we've already been able to do, travel, how much money we've ever had in the bank at one time, how much we've made in a year at one, you know, anyway, normal life. And most of us, when we set a goal, we want something just a little bit bigger, right? A little bit more money, a little bit more travel, a little bit nicer car, a little bit more time on the weekends with your family or during the week or whatever it is, okay? And so when we set a goal like that and we look at it and then we start moving towards it, we all hit this thing called the wall, right? And so everybody knows that there's the wall, right? We've all hit that before. We've all set a goal and started moving towards it and working towards that. But here's some things that I've learned recently. Because the wall is the most stressful thing, right? And most people they hit this wall and it stresses them out and they'll quit, or they'll be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can't. Maybe that's not meant for me. Maybe I'm not meant to have more money in the bank account than I've ever had or than I currently have. Maybe I'm not meant to go travel more than I ever have already. You know, this is it. And I'm just sharing with you guys thoughts that have crossed my mind in the past, especially as I was going through, you know, in my own Renatus career of building a team and doing real estate deals and things like that. Like I felt all of these things. You know, maybe I'm not supposed to become wildly successful and do all of these great things that I want to do in the back of my mind. Okay? And so we start thinking that. And sometimes, like I just mentioned, we hit these walls, but we start blaming the goal. We start blaming and saying, you know what, I don't like goals anymore because I haven't hit some of these goals that I really wanted, okay? And so whether we blame the wall or blame the goal, it doesn't matter. Each one causes us to settle. And when I even say settle, I even mean like make our next goal just like itty bitty bit bigger than our current goals. Actually, that's smaller. Let's make this a little bit bigger than normal life, okay? And so he'd say, oh, I'll just settle. Maybe if I make an extra $1,000 this year, or maybe I travel one extra day this year than I did last year, or something, you know, whatever it is, okay? And so we settle for these smaller goals, okay? So we either blame the wall or we blame the goals, either way. So here's what I learned recently. This blew my mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. Okay. And so what really happens when we don't achieve a goal is because of the goal that we set. It wasn't the goal itself. It is the goal that we set. And here's what I mean by that. So there's usually 5 different deficiencies, okay? 5 deficiencies. All right, sounded that out nicely. Okay, so 5 different deficiencies. The first one is that when we set a goal and we don't achieve it, it's because we don't know enough about the goal itself, right? We didn't crystal clear set this goal for exactly what we want, when we want, how we want, right? We don't know enough about what to do every single day of our lives to get this goal, okay? We don't know exactly how we're going to get it. We don't understand how it works, or, you know, whatever it is. Okay, we set these goals of like for example, like when I was new, one of the goals that I put is I just wanted to flip a house. I just wanted to buy one house and turn around and flip it and make money. And I felt all of this frustration that I was talking about because I just didn't know enough about that goal. I needed to learn more of the steps and how to analyze and how to look at a deal the way that an appraiser looks at a deal, so that or looks at a house, so that I know I can sell it for that price instead of just trying to trust realtors and other people, right? I needed to build the knowledge of how of having that myself so that I can mitigate risk, okay? So there's deficiency number 1. Deficiency number 2 is they can't see it. They can't envision themselves in a future setting achieving that goal. They can't see themselves you know, like listen, if you're okay with this, I'm going to use just the fix and flip or even becoming 5-star. Okay, they can't envision themselves receiving those 5 stars in the mail, right? And if any of you are on this call are not a 5-star and that's one of your goals, start thinking about what it looks like to become a 5-star. Okay, usually when you become a 5-star, it's because you got an order in the system where somebody signed and they handed you a credit card and said, run it. Let's do this, right? Run it for $20,000, or maybe you're doing a UGA, and so they put $10,000 down. So run it for $10,000, and let's apply for the UGA for the rest. Okay, and so you do that enough times, and then corporate will actually put in the mail your 5 stars. They'll drop it in the mail, and they'll send it to you in a little package, and you have a little letter. And they say, congratulations, this is a huge step. And you receive that 5-star pin, and you get to put it on and bring it to the next community event. And people will hold you in a higher regard because you have accomplished something that many have not. Or even the fix and flip. You know, doing that first real estate deal. And, you know, you go through it, you find it, you analyze it, you figured out how to get it all fixed up and use other people's money. And then you sell it. Your realtor helps you negotiate it, right? And so you're sitting there at home, maybe on the couch, and you get a phone call. And the phone call is from your title agent, and your title agent's like, "Hey, you know, whatever your name is, hey, we're ready to pay you. Do you want me to cut you a check, and you can come and pick it up, or I can mail it to you? Or do you want me to just wire it to you?" Right? And so most of you, I know what you're thinking. I'm going to do a check. All right? Cut me a check. I'll head that way right now. I'll jump in the car. You know, I'll put some pants on. Whatever it is. Okay? I'll get over there. Okay? So you tell them, write the check. And so you jump in the car. You're running over there, and you pick it up from those lovely ladies there that always work at the title companies and. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? Like, can you see it? Can you see yourself in the future achieving one of these goals, right? And I'm just using the 2 examples of either flipping a house or becoming a 5-star, right? You got to see it. And if people can't see that, then they don't achieve their goal. Here's the next one. Well, they can't say it. When you set a goal, you have to be able to talk about that goal for literally hours. Because when you know, I always start at the top and go down. When you know everything that there is to know, or at least enough, when you know enough about that goal that you can start working towards it and you know what to do every day, and you can see it, you can envision yourself achieving that goal. When you've done those 2 things, this one becomes easier, where you can literally sit and talk about your goal for hours on hours on hours, right? When I set a goal to raise $10 million, I mean, I could sit and talk to somebody about that all day long. In fact, I drive my wife nuts because sometimes I try. with talking about real estate stuff. Yeah. So you've got to be able to talk about it and say it and not be afraid to say it to other people. Like I think it was Sherry that said, yeah, I just talked to somebody about velocity banking for like 15 minutes. Yeah. And I hope that you had an opportunity to share just a little bit of a goal that you have, because oftentimes that's going to inspire somebody else. And because you set your goal and you start talking about it, it's going to inspire people around you that are actually the people that help you reach your goal. Whether that's because you become 5-star or flip a house, I don't care, right? And I got so many stories on how that is so true, where you start talking about it. In fact, you know what? Saturday, this last week, a few days ago, Saturday, I was talking to a guy, and all I did was share one of my real estate goals. And he came unglued. He's like, oh my gosh, that is so freaking cool. In fact, I've been thinking about this. My wife and I have been thinking about this. Like, we want to get into real estate too. That is so cool, just because I told him one of my real estate goals. And he goes, that is amazing that I ran into you, that we met. He's like, can we talk? Can we talk? I want to talk. I want to talk. And so here we are, Saturday. And I'm like, yeah, let's chat Monday. So we just chatted a couple of days ago, and I sent him over, one of the videos that's there out of the Helios that you can download. And he watched the video because he was so excited. I was like, yeah, I don't even want to wait until Thursday. And so sent him the video. We did a one-on-one. We sat down, and he's like, this is amazing. Put his order in, and I talked to him yesterday again. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to put this on the business expense. I can just pay for the full 20 grand on like one of my credit cards, right? And I was like, yeah. Totally, that works, right? And he's like, great, yeah, let's. And so I'm meeting with him again tomorrow, just because I shared one of my goals, and it inspired him to jump. Okay, so anyway, know it, see it, say it. You got to feel it too, right? As you're achieving your goals, you got to feel it. I mean, that goal has to become you. If you've ever heard this before, when you set a goal, that goal is actually what defines you, right? Because if you don't set goals, then normal life, whatever your life is right now, is going to define you. And you are exactly what goals you set. You are exactly the goals that you set. So when you set goals, that's what you become. That's what people see you as, because you know it, because you're seeing it, because you're saying it, right? You're feeling like, hey man, I can flip a house. And you're feeling like, man, I can drop a couple of words to somebody else that inspires them, and they were attracted to me on purpose, like this gentleman that I met last weekend, right? Because I was getting to know my goal, because I could see it, because I could say it, and then when I said it, he could feel it. He could feel that I was genuinely, this is what I want, and it was about helping people. Okay. And so feel it. And the last one is active. The last reason people will not achieve that goal is because when they don't know it, they can't see it, they can't say it, they don't feel it. Notice that if you've ever set a goal and you were sitting in a chair, or you're getting out of bed, whatever, and the time is yours, you're done with work for the day, and you've got time, and you think about the goal that you set. If you don't know the rest of these things, it's so hard to say, cool, let's get to work. Let's do this, right? And it's so much easier just because, you don't have an action plan, or you don't have something to do. You can't see it, say it, feel it, to just sit and do something else. All right, something else comes up, and you clean your desk, or you take a phone call from some friend, that you're just gonna shoot the bull and do whatever, or you just say, you know what, let's whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. You don't take the action that's necessary, because you maybe don't know what the action necessary is, right? Get confused. Okay, so these are the 5 deficiencies that cause most people to not achieve a goal. Okay, so we're going to work through these. Now, here's the best part of this. When setting a goal, and I hope everybody here can somewhat interact and or take maybe a note or two for yourself, because I want to actually walk you guys through a process of setting a goal, okay? And here's the trick. So yeah, I have my big goals. All right? I've got my big goal of raising over $10 million, right? That I've been pushing myself towards to try, to hit. Okay. And so yeah, I'll set those big goals, but I always set the smaller goal, because naturally you'll be able to feel it more if you can have little wins along the way. Okay. So yeah, I'll have my big goal where it's like, yeah, I want to do a big thing, okay? Big goal. I want to make, $300,000 in just my Renatus commissions in 2019. Okay, so I'll set my big goal. But then I want to set smaller wins along the way. Okay. I want to set some little things and be like, cool, if all I do is in the next 30, I call these little 30-day goals, okay? Smaller wins every 30 days at least. And if you're so far away from any of these things, and goals is like a goal is a 4-letter word in your world, then we're going to go smaller, right? Set down and do daily wins if you have to. Okay. In fact, I'd even suggest it anyway. But anyway, so as you create these little tiny wins along the way, then it becomes more achievable, right? You feel like, oh my gosh, that's all I have to do every day. Okay. I just do this or do that. So like flipping a house, right? Flipping a house. Oh man, I want to flip a house. Then I'm going to have to watch all of my essentials. I'm going to have to watch all of my AIT track. And so what is a daily win that I could do that's going to help me feel like I accomplished something, okay? Even though it's tiny, okay? Because if you just say, yeah, I'm going to become a 5-star, I mean, how are you going to do that every single day? It's not like you're going to become 5-star in one day. It's like, okay, cool. If I talk to, and if I utter the words velocity banking or investing in real estate or saving taxes to 5 people every single day, or even 3 people every single day, then I'm going to hit my goal. I'm going to become a 5-star. I'm going to make X amount of dollars, okay? So, anywho, daily wins, and start making these things smaller. But let's talk about this, okay? So, and I want to talk about the 30-day goal, and then we break it down to the daily wins. So the 30-day goal, and let's walk through these steps up here, okay? So I'm going to put it right here so that we can see that. So the know it, literally, this is just like data collection. Yeah, learning everything you can, coming down to meetings, networking with people, okay? Data collection, right? Learning, watching your classes, watching the 10-step training, going to an EMT or AMT, or whatever they call the blitz, basically, of surrounding yourself with people that are in a similar stage and being accountable to everybody else. Yeah, just straight up learning, okay? The second thing, the vision. I want you to literally create a vision, right? A daydream. I want you to daydream about your future self achieving that goal, and use all of the senses. Like as you're daydreaming about yourself achieving your goal, like what do you see? What are you? So all the 5 senses. See it, hear it. Like what are you hearing? Right? Are there people there? Are there people there to be like, yeah, you did it. Yeah. Maybe it's a spouse or kids or friends, family, you name it. Okay. What are you seeing? What are you saying? Who's there? What are you feeling? Right? Is it warm? Is it cold? Are you outside? Are you inside? Are you home? Are you somewhere else? Okay, where are you? And literally daydream. Like picture a movie screen. Okay? You are, what do they call those? The movie director. Yeah, you are the movie director. Oh, there's an I right there. Director. Okay, creating this vision of what it is. And then the say it, you got to say it every day, right? You got to create some kind of a declaration. Declaration. Okay? Creating some kind of a declaration of I am. If you haven't seen this yet, the I ams, go read your Bible and count how many times the words I am show up in just the Bible. Okay? We have the perfect example of the perfect human being who, actually I shouldn't say human being, but the perfect example of a gentleman who did a lot of things for this world, and he used the words I am perfectly, right? He knew who he was. He knew exactly who he was. So using the I am principle of declaring that you are what your goal is. Okay? I am enough. I am powerful to become this goal. Okay? I am knowledgeable enough to reach this goal. Okay? I am this goal. Okay? So then the feeling it, basically just creating that emotional feeling. Like your movie needs to have some emotion to it. Okay, creating those emotions of what it feels like inside to do this, to become this stuff. Okay, and then on the action, daily. What are your small wins? So as you're going through this, here's the action step. Okay, and we won't do this right now. But I want you to create a 1-sentence goal. Yeah, like 5 words or less, or whatever it is. And in fact, if you are comfortable, chime into the chat here and share just one little goal of something that you want. Okay, and or if it's more personal, then take the time. And just write it down somewhere else on your phone, on on a piece of paper, whatever it is. But just take one moment and write down a 1-sentence goal, and then I'm going to give you action steps for what to do after this. Okay, so go ahead and start chiming in if you want to share, or keep it personal. It's up to you. But take that time right now. I'll count for like 30 seconds.
Have 2 short-term rentals by the end of the year, 2 additional short-term rentals.
I'm going to earn my first $10,000 by Christmas.
Thank you guys for sharing. Keep going, whoever else is out there.
1 star by the end of this year.
I'd like to have a short-term rental up and running by January 31st.
1 star by the end of the year.
Yeah, this is awesome. Keep going, guys.
My first fix and flip by the end of the year.
Help 10 people get the combo before the 18th of December.
5 star by the beginning of the year.
This is awesome, guys. I'm loving this. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for chiming in on the chat. I mean, we got tons of stuff in here. Look at this. Sell your first profitable note. Become 5-star end of the year. Own a rental, long-term or short-term. Amy, we'll have to get a little more detailed on that, but that's okay. This is what these action steps are for. 100 units, end of the year. Better life for the family, make $500,000. Let's see, Mary, probably 5-star, end of the month. 2 real estate deals by the end of the year, 5-star, and make $10,000 on the same day. That's cool. So three people, if you own your combo, obviously. 3 additional combos, 5-star, end of 2019. Daine, do you purchase profitable notes? I've never purchased a note myself, but yeah, if you already have one, then I'd be interested in at least looking at it. Okay, sell a property, make $190,000, 5-star, end of the year. Overcome negative thinking, 5-star, end of the year. 1-star, end of the year, 5-star, 5-star. Enroll 1 combo by December 25th. Love it. Short-term rental, become 1-star. 2 short-term rentals, end of the year. 5-star. Ooh, help my team become 5-star. I love that, Belen. 5-star. Perfect. So, coming back over to here. So we have our 1-sentence goal. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a couple of action steps, and we won't have time on this call to do this. But I, mark my words, I will ask you next week how this went. But by practicing the see it and the say it, the visioning, the feeling, okay, so these 3 things, as well as the acting, I literally want you to write, you're going to laugh at this, because you guys remember school. Remember in school they say, oh, you got to write a 1-page essay or whatever, something like that. 1-page. How do they call that in a movie? Like a movie script or something like that? Movie script. What's called a story? Yeah, and I want you to activate all of those different parts of your senses. Okay, the see it, the seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, that's the same thing. Smelling, even tasting, right? Use all 5 senses. Write a 1-page story of the thing that you just gave me in your 1-sentence goal. Okay? You have to have detail. Talk about how you're feeling. Talk about how, what's your confidence level when you achieve that goal. Talk about that in your story. Who's there? What are you seeing? Okay? A whole page. What did you do to reach that goal? Okay, so, and if you don't know what it takes, then you're going to have to go back and study and watch some more class, or watch the 10-step training, or go back and listen to a bunch of the Monday morning calls and trainings, and hear other people's stories of the things that you want to do. Hear other people's stories of what they did, so you add that into your story. Yeah, so a whole page. Like this is going to be an activity that is going to help you realize that any goal that you ever set in the past, it didn't come to pass because you didn't do this. Okay, so whole page story of your goal. Write it out. If you if you want extra credit, 2 pages or 3, whatever it is. Again, if you could sit and talk about your goal for hours and maintain a high level of energy for hours, then that goal is like, a ridiculous amount of percent higher chance that you're going to get it. Okay. So a whole page story of what you're going to do. Yeah. So whole page story, all those different senses. Okay. 5 senses. Yeah. Try to be J.K. Rowling or whatever as you're going, like, activate the brain in all those different ways. Okay, so write the story as the homework, and the next thing that I want you to do is create a template week. Okay, so if I bump over to my calendar here, you can see I have a template week. In fact, here, let me just go to a future week okay, template week. So I have my template week of what I do as my template every single day of the week. And I've talked about this in the past, where I put things in here, faith and family and fun and things like that. So every Friday is a free day. Good luck getting a hold of me on a Friday. Every Saturday is a family day. Every Sunday is a family day. Good luck getting a hold of me on a Saturday or a Sunday. Okay? I'm at the meetings every Thursday. I'm serving in leadership capacities every Thursday. I meet with my assistant. I do these calls in the mornings for myself and my team, and then I leave all of these other days open: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've got all this black space that I can work on things, and so I'll put it in. So if I go back to today, I've had a fairly busy week meeting with people and doing fun stuff. Okay. And so build a template of recurring events. Okay. Template week, recurring events of the things that that you're going to need to do either every day or every week or whatever it is, recurring. Yeah. So here's the next thing. Here's the next activity that is going to help us achieve this goal that we set. You set those recurring events, and we're writing our story and all these different things, and we're sharing it with other people like we did today. Here's what's going to happen to you. Your goal will become normal life to you. Quick story. For when I started in Renatus and when I started my real estate investing career, money was the hardest thing for me to talk about. I couldn't say it. I could not talk about money. Money for my deals, money for myself, any of it. I just could not talk money. And when I look back, now I didn't have this structure when I was going through this, but when I look back, because I started learning everything there was to learn about money and structuring deals and all those different things, I got to know it so well. And because I knew it, it helped me see it and be able to talk about it for hours and begin to feel it, and I knew how to act. So now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, I will talk about money with anybody, anywhere, anytime, especially when there's real estate involved. It is normal life. So when I say, I raised, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I raised $600,000 in one day for real estate deals. One day. It was just like, yeah, that's what I do every day. Like I wasn't even excited. I should say that I was excited, but I wasn't even like, oh my gosh, look what I just did. I wasn't ecstatic. I was just like, yeah, this is what I do. Yeah, of course I raised $600,000 in one day because that's normal in my mind, because I've ingrained this into my brain so much that it is normal. So as you go through these steps in your own life, you know, all the ones we talked about, becoming 5-star, closing on deals, short term, long term, you name it. Yeah. As you go through these steps of these 5 different categories, knowing it, seeing it, saying it, feeling it, acting it, being able to do all of them, it will become normal life. And I just noticed that I've only used blue pretty much this whole time. So let's actually change up some colors here. Okay? It will become normal life for you. And when you set those bigger goals of saying, I want to make $500,000 in a year, it's going to be normal. Like, oh yeah, I make $500,000 in a year. Normal life. Yeah, because if you look at any millionaire, you don't see them being like, oh my gosh, I made $1 million this year again. And, you know, no, like, it's normal for them. Like, yeah, made $1 million last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. Okay. This is how you create a better normal life, an upgraded normal life for yourself. Okay. So homework, write your story. I will be asking you about it next week. Okay. Still jump on the call because I'll have valuable stuff if you don't do it. But just realize that you're not doing yourself any favors by taking action like this. Okay. Write your story. Create your template week of recurring events, things that you will do on a daily, weekly basis, and things will start becoming normal life to you. And if you can upgrade your normal life every 30 days, just a little bit, things are going to change. And you're going to see it, and feel it, and say it, and act it. Okay? I had a gentleman in a class last week with me. I think he might be actually on this call. But he became 5-star. And we started asking him some questions, and he realized that when he was not 5-star, he was looking forward to feeling a lot of different things when he became 5-star. He basically told us all that when I become 5-star, I will feel confident, I will feel powerful, I will feel accomplished, all those different things. But he didn't feel confident, powerful, as he became 5-star. And then he became 5-star, and he's like, I don't feel any different. And so, because he shared the goal with us, like, when I make my first $10,000, I will feel confident, I will feel powerful, I will feel all these different things, right? And we helped him understand, like, no. You feel confident, powerful, all those different things today, because when you become when you make your first $10,000, you're not going to feel any differently than you do today. That was so true to me in my own path. I mean, I had my first $25,000 month in my Renatus business, and I didn't feel any difference. I still felt, what's the opposite of confident? I don't know. Opposite of confident. I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel, and it woke me up actually, because I was like, man, I thought I was going to feel all these things after I did this. And then I realized, no, I feel those things today. And it helps me get my goal tomorrow, but I felt it anyway. And that's what helped me achieve those goals faster. Okay. So let me just jump in here and make sure I don't have any comments. Looks like we got a bunch of them. What is that program, calendar template? Oh, that's basically just my calendar app that's on my iPad. So if you have an Android or if you have an iPhone, the calendar app is automatically on your phone anyway. I do have connected to my iPad, my Gmail basically. But that's all it is. What Sunday morning training? I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sunday morning training. Oh, basically the other morning trainings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is probably what I was talking about. Cool. Great job, everybody. I will see you all next week. Have a great Wealth Wednesday.